Right, 29 July 2024, and today I'll be giving you my evening update as usual. And the reason why I'm coming today is because we've got a very important story taking place of 78 members of the opposition that are currently in jail. And tonight will be their 43rd night. So it will be day number 42 and night number 43 in jail. And the reason why I'm coming today is because the trial has failed to kick off. We were expecting the trial to kick off today, but the trial did not kick off. So these are the people that are in jail currently, and these are 78 Zimbabwean opposition members that are currently in jail, including a baby, a 3-month-old baby who is in jail in Zimbabwe. These people have committed no crime and they've been jailed by Mnangagwa. This is terrible, and I cannot believe that this is happening. It's almost as if we're in a dream. And these people are going to be appearing in court this whole week. And the lawyer here is Agent Zigumbo. I have unfortunately not been able to talk to Agent Zigumbo today because he's been so busy in court. But on Twitter, he has said charges that were now on the charge sheet were not correct. So those were not the right charges that they had put on the charge sheet. So the charges are being changed. And as you can see, with a lot of young people here, a lot of young people who are in jail unnecessarily. So very sad situation. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But as of today, the trial has not kicked off, and we have these people spending another night in jail. I'm expecting that by Friday, this whole case will be finalized and these people will be released because they did not commit any offense. They were just having a meeting, and the police are the ones who went into a private residence. They were not on public streets, and they were not doing anything illegal. So I hope that they are released as soon as possible so that they can be with their families and they can go on with their life. So I hope that by Friday, everything will be sorted and we're going to have our people back in their homes. This is very embarrassing to have people in jail during a SADC summit. So it's very embarrassing even for Mnangagwa himself to have these people in jail during the time when the SADC summit. Now, let me quickly go through what has happened at the SADC summit. It's called the SADC Industrialization Week. It's ongoing. And what has happened is that General Chiwenga, so this is General Chiwenga here, arriving. General Chiwenga has opened the SADC summit, or what is called, sorry, SADC Industrialization Week forum. So this is the actual forum. So it's more like the Industrialization Week, which is the beginning. And this has been a wasted opportunity. I was watching this thing and I said to myself, imagine if Mnangagwa has not done what he's doing now to arrest people. If there was a culture of dialogue and understanding and peace in Zimbabwe, this was going to be such a big opportunity. Let me tell you about the guys who came here, who were very impressive. Chiwenga himself delivered one of the most powerful speeches ever by Chiwenga. I found it very odd that Chiwenga can deliver such a speech. And I've posted it for you guys on Gambakwe platforms. You can go and have a look at that speech by Chiwenga. However, there were various outstanding speeches and panels that were presenting to no one. Let me show you what I mean when I say they were presented to no one. This is how it looked. This is an empty building. So the SADC summit, the SADC Industrialization Week was presenting to an empty room. After Chiwenga left, everyone also left. So you can check out here. This is the time when Chiwenga was there. It was a little bit better. After Chiwenga left, there was absolutely no one left in this building. People had just left, they had gone. They couldn't stand being in this building after Chiwenga left. However, there were massive presentations at the SADC Industrialization Week. This is a world-class event that has been spoiled by the behavior of Mnangagwa. The arrest of the 78 members of the opposition has totally destroyed a perfectly outstanding event. SADC Industrialization Week was supposed to be Amazing. Look at this guy here. This guy is called Fambaoga Myambo. He presented one of the best presentations on the Spartial development initiatives in SADC. I've never heard so much information coming from a guy in 5 minutes. So these guys have been given 5 minutes to present. And he presented such a massive, far-reaching development program for SADC, which includes countries like Zambia, Botswana, South Africa, and Malawi. All these plans, if they were to come into fruition, SADC would do very, very well. However, funders are scared to come into SADC because of Zimbabwe, because of the way that Mnangagwa is behaving. So the funders came and spoke, and outstanding funders who spoke here is the African Development Bank, then IFC. They had a remote speaker, someone who came here remotely and spoke. The IFC is very important in terms of what they can do in SADC here. The European Union, I didn't see them speaking, but there were banks, local banks like like CBZ. I'm saying SADC. CBZ, they spoke here. There is massive amounts of money just waiting to be used. There are other people who presented here. If you have an opportunity, go and have a look. People are questioning the model that SADC is using, the kind of projects that SADC is selecting. However, what I found is that no one wants to question the human rights record in SADC. People don't want to hold SADC to account for what Mnangagwa is doing in Zimbabwe. And this is something that needs to be raised. As this summit goes on, people must stand up and speak to the human rights abuses taking place in Zimbabwe. The arrest of these 78 people is just the culmination of everything else. So unfortunately for Mnangagwa, he made a mistake of arresting these people. That is magnified the human rights problems in Zimbabwe. And I believe that money is not as important as human rights. So people must understand, if you're at the SADC summit and the SADC industrialization week, do not love money so much that you can walk on blood to go and get money. This is what I want to remind the guys who are at any SADC event. People are suffering in Zimbabwe. People are being arrested. And when I talk about people, these are real people. With the families, they've been sleeping in jail for the past 43 days. And the people at SADC must not ignore. So people like Chiwenga must be questioned. When Chiwenga appears at SADC, there must be questions from the leadership of SADC to say, what has happened to those 78 people? Do not keep quiet about this issue and focus only on money. So that is very important. I want to make it clear that the arrest of people is supposed to be at the top of everything else. I want to look also at Busisa Moyo. Busisa Moyo did speak here as the chairperson of SADC, of ZIDA. So he was speaking about the initiative that ZIDA has got, and it has turned out to be more of a Zimbabwean event because no one else came. South Africa boycotted, Zambia boycotted, and I think a whole bunch of countries, Namibia, Seychelles, all those countries, they even came here. Mnangagwa is going to deliver a speech on Wednesday, that is my understanding. But this has turned out to be a Zimbabwean event. And I want to say to everyone who's not here, you're not missing anything. Human rights is the most important thing. So I encourage people in SADC to cultivate this culture of human rights. So they're doing the right thing by boycotting this event by Mnangagwa. There's nothing to lose. And a new government will come in, which is going to respect human rights. And you won't lose anything. People will remember that countries like Zambia, countries like Namibia, countries like South Africa, they played a big part in the boycott of this evil activity that Mnangagwa has done, which is to arrest these young people and keep them in jail without trial for 43 days. You can see how it's looking. These guys are suffering, they're struggling in there, and you can't have a SADC event at the same time. So this has become the main story. The arrest of 78 people by Mnangagwa during the SADC summit. And unfortunately, this is sort of like sidetracked people from important things. So if you want to look at this Spatial development initiatives by Fambaoga. This was the most important thing for me, Fambaoga Myambo. I was very interested in seeing what he was saying about the spatial development initiatives for SADC, because I think that is where regional integration comes in. We need to think widely, and our region is going to do well. We need a fresh new approach to Zimbabwe, and Mnangagwa must be made to change what he's doing. Mnangagwa is destroying our country. Mnangagwa arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. So that is what is happening in Zimbabwe, and that is the update for tonight. SADC coming up to Zimbabwe, but no one appearing. So it was an empty room, and no one was watching this thing. No one attended, and it's a mess. It's a mess because Mnangagwa has arrested 78 people. He's keeping them in jail during the SADC summit instead of just withdrawing the charges. A normal government, what they will do is withdraw the charges, and then we don't have to deal with all this. They don't have to be charging anyone for nothing. And unfortunately, Mnangagwa is not going to do it. He's going to stubbornly push this thing until Friday, and then probably on Friday we're going to have these people out of jail. So 78 jailed Zimbabwean opposition activists languishing in jail for 43 days without trial. Let me check out a few comments here. Mukoma Isaac says, if they didn't ask Chiwenga about his ex-wife, I don't think they'll ask him about 78 CCC people. Mukoma, I don't want to go into Zinabasa. We're talking here about the future of our country. So I don't want to raise a lot of issues, but I could have raised a lot of issues, but this is not the time. And Mukoma Glot says, Gambako, why can't demonstrations be done during SADC summit meeting? Because people are afraid of being killed. Mnangagwa will shoot to kill. If you do a demonstration, he has demonstrated that he can shoot to kill. So don't even try it. Mnangagwa wants to test blood during SADC summit, so people won't do it. Right now, Spanda is on the run just because he tweeted that people must demonstrate. State security agents are chasing Spanda right now as you speak, and he's gone into hiding just because of a tweet. So who do you think is going to be able to demonstrate? When I arrive in myself on the 16th and 17th, I'll be showing you the situation on the ground. But I don't expect any demonstrations to take place. What I expect is for us to cultivate a culture of peace and dialogue. So that is what I expect us to cultivate. Guys, I apologize, my washing machine is just finishing. So a culture of peace and dialogue, that is what we need to cultivate. That is where Mnangagwa is failing at the moment. I tried to conscientize the guys that the demonstration in Zambia was the way to go, but they did not see what I was talking about. It's very important for us to understand that where we are going, we need to go for a transitional system, and that is where everything's going. Nothing's going to work in Zimbabwe. There is no confidence in Zimbabwe by people from outside. There's no confidence in Zimbabwe by local Zimbabweans. So a transitional authority leading to fresh elections through a dialogue process, a mediated dialogue process. That is what we need to go for. And then Komatedi is saying, Gambako, I really appreciate the commitment towards freedom of our people. So far, I hear you alone. May God have a way for innocent people. Thank you very much. Komatedi, I'm going to be in Zimbabwe on the 16th and the 17th, and I will hope to meet as many stakeholders as possible. Our country is going backwards. Everything's not developing. We need to have dialogue in our country, and other countries are having dialogue. Why can't we do it? So I want to end it here. My washing machine is making so much noise, I can't focus. And then come out at Taku says, Gambako, go to Zimbabwe and get it started yourself. Yes, I'm going to be going to Zimbabwe on the 16th. I'm going to arrive in Zimbabwe. You're going to see me, and I've already made arrangements for everything to go very, very well. There is no problem that is going to happen to me because I've not done anything wrong. No one is going to arrest me. Guys, what charge can you bring against Gambako for coming here every day and broadcasting on the news channel? That would be crazy. It would be worse than arresting the 78 people. Mnangagwa, if you arrest me on the 16th, the head of states, I've written a letter to multiple heads of states, and they've responded to me. Imagine if you arrest me, Mnangagwa, it will be the worst thing that Mnangagwa has ever done to arrest Gambakwa. And all of you guys, Gambakwa asungwa, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 100. Job scholar. That is the problem with Zimbabweans. You need to be able to speak up and also to support. So let's make sure that we support, and let's make sure that Mnangagwa knows Kuti. It's not acceptable. Just like SADC is done. They've boycotted the summit. They've boycotted Zimbabwe. They're not coming to the exhibitions. That is what we expect from people who want to make a statement to Mnangagwa to say it's not right to arrest people and they don't want to be involved in a country without democracy and human rights. Yes. Mazimba tinochka. Imimi mkoma madau. Mdara kembos. Karai mwichichka. Msaregeza kuchka. I don't want you guys to be killed. So what you should do is observe the situation and don't put yourself in the way of danger. It's not going to happen in one day. Mnangagwa is not going to be removed in one day. What is going to happen is we're going to go through a dialogue, we're going to go through a transitional system, and then we're going to go through fresh elections. That is what is going to happen. Unfortunately, these things take time. And as I've said, I'm giving it between 2035 and 2040. That is when we're going to have fresh elections. Currently, our system does not allow to have fresh elections, does not allow Mnangagwa to be thrown out. But what you're going to see after SADC summit is going to be some of the most difficult times Zimbabwe have ever seen. Zimbabwe is going to enter a period of massive difficulty after the SADC summit, because internally in ZANU-PF, there's going to be massive infighting and it's going to get very, very dirty. And there are multiple players within ZANU-PF, and one of them is going to come out at the top. So when two elephants fight, stand back and watch. Do not become part of it. We've got a massive problem developing in ZANU-PF. And at the same time, we as Zimbabweans need to understand that the process is going to be transitional authority, transitional system, then reforms, then fresh elections. And those things, you don't have a transitional system without a fight. Before a transitional system, something must happen which is so big that everyone is going to want a transitional system. And that is where we're going now. In Zimbabwe, there is going to be an event that will lead us to all want a transitional system. And it's going to be very, very difficult. And it's going to happen in front of our eyes. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I really enjoy talking to you in the evenings, but I'll be back here in the morning. And I'll be here for the news at 5 a.m. every morning as usual. Thank you very much and a good day.